much for coming back to my YouTube channel to watch another one of my fashion stylist tutorials. Now, I've spoken about this a few times in my channel, especially in the video series of how to become a fashion stylist. I talk about needing hard skin because let's face it, you do get some highs, but you're gonna get some lows while working as a fashion stylist. I'm here to be honest with you and 100% transparent. Me, myself, I have experienced clients who are quite difficult. Now, what I've done is I've worked out a way to stay professional, to stay positive, but then also worked out a way to deal with difficult clients if they were to come about. So in this video, what I've decided to do for you is to break down 5 simple steps that I use. Hopefully this can be really useful for you. Hopefully this can let you know that you're not alone. You know, you're not the only person that gets in situations like this. You know, I think about, you know, the Q&A that I done where I talk about stylist credits. It's really important that as a community of stylists, you know, we can share honest things like this and, you know, we can encourage each other to stay positive in situations where, quite frankly, we want to take off our professional mask, let's be honest. But that's not how business works. Unfortunately, a lot of the time you cannot bring emotion to work. Although you are very passionate and although passion really does drive me to work, on the days when I don't feel like it, on the days that I get difficult clients, it definitely has to come from somewhere. I have to pull a source out from somewhere else, and that is my positivity box. So yeah, I'm hoping that sharing this can help you guys, and let's get to it. Now, step 1 is planning. So when you can tell that you've got difficult clients, you're kind of prepared to, you know, be maybe messed around a little bit for the client's mind to change about something. Remember, guys, I spoke to you about me having a client where I approved like 60 looks, and when I turned up on set, they didn't like 20 to 25 of the looks. So what I do in that case where, you know, they're not really sure about what they want, I over prepare. As you know, I am the biggest advocate for planning. I put that as the first thing for how to become a fashion stylist. You've got to be good at planning. For the clients that even know what they want and they seem quite straightforward, I find that planning, over preparing, organizing yourself effectively can help you deal with these clients. Now, yeah, this is not direct. This is not saying they've done this and here's your answer to solve it. But I feel like by planning, by making that your initial thing, every time you have a client, every time, make sure you plan efficiently. This can definitely counteract a lot of issues and problems. You turn up on set, oh, I don't really like this and I don't really like that. You can be on top form basically, and you could be like, okay, well, I've pulled this out for you as an extra. I thought this is a great alternative, and you know, although you did want, you know, a purple dress for this, I do feel like this blue dress can go perfectly. The planning, you know, it links in with the versatility. Planning helps you to be versatile. It helps you to be able to work on your feet. Over prepare. You know, don't be someone who just turns up and just wings it. Over preparing helps you counteract all these sort of problems. Plan. The second step to stay positive and deal with difficult clients is definitely the art of pausing. So I say take some time out. Now, yeah, you may have a tight deadline, but definitely the art of pausing has saved me on so many different occasions. I've talked about it on my social media. I gave you guys an image of something that looked so very, you know, happy and joyous, and I really gave you the behind the scenes of really what happened. The art of pausing is so important. I have come across some situations, guys, where you will be stunned. You will be shocked. But I'm happy that at that time that I dealt with someone very difficult, I'm glad that I paused. I'm glad that I was able to withdraw myself from the situation and really think about it and really process what was happening. This is so important because this allows you to remain professional. It's so easy to get caught up and, you know, have a really quick response to certain things, and it could be the worst response you make. That could be the end of your relationship with the brand over a small misunderstanding, possibly at the end of your relationship with the client. Whatever it is, just take that moment and pause. One of the ways that I also pause is I speak to other stylists or I speak to my friends and family. Definitely kind of chew it over and talk to someone else and get another point of view. You're not always right, and that's me being honest. I'm not always right, and I may perceive something to be a certain way, and then I talk to my friend or I talk to another stylist and they give me another point of view, which can then give me a refreshed vibe and feeling about the whole topic and the whole subject, and I can go back to that client with a different point of view, basically. So it's really important to kind of pause. Pausing allows you to stay positive. You know, I pause in the mornings by meditating. I read devotionals. I do small things like that to help me get my frame of mind in the right place. You can't take words back. You know, you can apologize, but sometimes the tongue is very, very sharp, and yeah, you may get situations where people do unspeakable things to you. I'm being honest. So take that moment and pause. Think about it, because in the long run, pausing will be better for your business. It will be better for your brand. You will feel better as well as a person, because you don't want to lose that part of you where, you know, someone's got you so mad that, you know, you say something really horrible and it's not really who you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, the art of pausing is so important. Now, the third and very, very important step of dealing with a difficult customer, difficult client, and to stay positive is communication. I found that a lot of the problems, whether it's in the world or between you and your client, even in everyday life, it's about communication. Communication is so important. Communication is often misunderstood via text, via email. You know, people read different tones. So whichever way is best and whichever way is appropriate, communicate with your client. You know, keep them updated with what's going on. Reassure them and let them know, you know, that you're doing the best that you can. But also ask questions. It's really, really important to ask questions. Don't be afraid of sounding stupid. By asking questions, you get the answers. You know, you get to know what's going on in their heads. You know, whether they've got a problem, whether they don't like something. You know, ask them, what is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? What can be better? You know, what were you kind of going for? All these sort of small questions and bits of communication are important. You know, you don't want to not ask the questions, for example, and turn up with a whole lot of stuff that they don't like. It's a waste of your time. You know, if you've used a budget for that, it's a waste of money. This is why I kind of go through the process of sorting out looks and doing like look preps before and communicating it with my client, just to make sure that everything's fine. This alone gives you peace of mind. This sort of communication creates a whole atmosphere of positivity, because once you know you've got it right, you're automatically happier. You're automatically feeling like you're on track. You feel more accomplished. I must admit, when my client is happy, I am happy. I stay positive, and this is why it's so important for me to tell you guys, always make sure that you care about what your client wants and what your client thinks. I remember being on set and someone was like, you know, don't listen to this person, don't listen to that person, do what you think, Erica. And I was just like, no. I had to pause, and I had to say, at the end of the day, it's what the client wants, because they're paying me for their time. And I want them to be happy. Yes, I can be an expert and I can say I feel this way and I feel that way, But alternatively, they have a vision, they have a perception of what they want, and half the time you've really kind of got to swallow your pride and learn from that and take positivity from that, you know, not everything that you feel is perfect, not everything that you feel is great is gonna be what someone wants, if that makes sense. I feel like I had to learn that part because, yeah, my control issues. I like to be in control and I like things to be a particular way. So I love how styling has really taught me to be more open-minded about that and versatile. Yeah, I think so. Another point which will help you to stay positive is to stay confident. Now, it sounds crazy for me to kind of say that if someone is not giving you any leeway. Your client is saying, I hate this and I hate that. I don't like this. I need this done. They seem so difficult. So how do you stay confident? Well, look at it this way. The fact that they're still communicating with you, the fact that they booked you, it means they want to book you. Do you hear that? They want to book you. They've asked you to do that job because they feel you are capable. So you make it work. You stay confident and positive and remember that you are the person that was booked for the job. You are great. You can make an amazing look out of a t-shirt and jeans because you know how to style it up. You know how to pull together something. Remember to stay confident in your own style, in your own expertise, in your own skills. Stay confident. This is how you can deal with a client, because also if you start to question yourself and you become unsure, then your client's gonna then be unsure of you. So always try and stay confident in all situations, and even if you do feel a little bit knocked down and you just feel deflated, just remember you were booked for a reason. And a lot of the time I remember that, you know, even with all the experience that I've had, I still get people that don't like certain things that I do, or I put together a look and they're just like, I don't like it. And some of them don't even give you a reason why. And it's really, really difficult sometimes. So just remember, you know what you're doing, communicate that, tell them this is what I think, but then otherwise ask for images as well. You know, ask for image references, and that will go with asking questions as well. But just stay confident. Being confident, you know that whole like fake it till you make it thing? Stay confident, and this will also bring forth that action of positivity. Positivity will manifest from you staying confident, because essentially they will be more confident in you and they will be happier, and then you will be happier. And last but not least, the fifth thing that you need to do to stay positive and confident and deal with difficult clients is to learn from your mistakes. Sounds very cliche, but you would be surprised. Learning from your mistakes, in my point of view, means whether you need to start drawing up contracts to safeguard yourselves. Do the art of pausing and think about all the things that went wrong with this and what could go right next time. How can you safeguard yourself from the same mistake happening? For example, not having enough looks. You're gonna learn from your mistake and make sure that with all clients, you always bring extras. Say you have booked a client, obviously as stylists, we tend to have to work before the job. So say you spend money traveling around, you've pulled loads of clothes, you've maybe bought items as well for the shoot. And the shoot gets cancelled last minute. I had where a shoot was cancelled 3 times in the space of 2 weeks. In the end, what I had done, because I kept hold of some clothes, I pulled more clothes because obviously I had more time. In the end, I had to ask for some compensation. I was lucky enough to have a client that was happy to pay me compensation for pulling and the shoot being cancelled altogether. But to safeguard yourself, for example, have cancellation fees in place. If you know you're going to be doing a lot of work, if you know you're going to be spending money, safeguard yourself financially as well. And now I tend to have that conversation, you know, if there is any cancellations, this is going to be the fee. So another way you can cover yourself is asking for travel expenses. So you can ask for a payment including travel expenses. So obviously if you're taking transport, if you happen to get a cab, you can make that a separate fee to charge the client. Sometimes the client wants it as a whole, and most of the time they prefer it as a whole, but you can do this is my fee plus travel expenses. So that means you keep all the receipts for when you've traveled throughout doing the job on the day, you know, and yeah, and then you can invoice it to your client. In terms of clothing budgets, that helps you to cover yourself as well. A lot of the time for some of my clients, I tend to buy a lot of stuff and return, knowing that the fee that I charge them, if anything happens, it will be covered. You can also ask for a clothing budget. This safeguards yourself. You know, you are not in any loss with any clothes. If any clothes get damaged on set for the shoot, you know it's not going to harm your pocket. So I do tend to ask a lot of my clients, especially if it's a commercial job, I tend to ask them, do they have a clothing budget? I find that a lot of my clients, they tend to give me a bigger payment if I handle the clothing budget myself, because sometimes even quite a lot of the stuff cannot be returned. So that way, you know, you are not out of pocket. Essentially, it's really just about safeguarding yourself and covering all ground. Make sure you think of all the different scenarios possible and you cover yourself for that. Should you continue the relationship with your client or not? Now, it's a thin line between that, because, you know, you do get some problems with clients and you just learn that, you know, this is the way that they are and you can carry on the relationship. But then you can get some situations where it is really, really extreme and, you know, you choose to kind of end your relationship with that client. Now, working with this particular brand, I will never forget this experience for myself, which means that you guys really need to safeguard yourselves with this. With your invoices, I sent an invoice over, and how I used to do invoices, I used to break down everything that why I was charging that. So I would say, this is how much I charge for like travel, this is coming out, this is how much I spend on this, and this is how much I spend on that. And I remember I put like 10 quid to say that I was going to eat. Now initially they gave me their budget and we agreed on it. So when I invoiced and sent that over, they were just like, well, we don't cover food expenses, so we're not going to pay that extra £10. Despite agreeing to pay me X amount. So say for example, they agreed to pay me £200 and we went on with the job. Because I put in that invoice a breakdown and £10 of that £200 I would have said would have covered food, they refused to pay it. So they actually paid me £10 short. From experiencing something like that with such a big brand like this, for me, I had to say to myself, this is where the relationship ends. There are some people that are going to continue to take advantage of you, and I know a lot of people had experienced similar stuff with magazines like this, and they continue to work with them. To me, you're not teaching the brand anything, you're not teaching them to respect creatives, but I personally chose to stop working with them from that. This is something that you guys need to be wary of. This is going to come in situations where it's brands you would never ever imagine it happening with. And this is me just being really honest with you. This isn't about slandering. This is an honest experience. And as much as I may promote it in my portfolio, I always say things are not always what it seems. So be prepared for anything and have that hard skin, and definitely remain positive. I mean, I have kept positive about it. I haven't slandered them. I could have really let off. If I did not pause in that moment, I could have really let off. And I remember having the discussion with the editor of that magazine about it and saying, you know, this is unfair because you're going against what our agreement was. And they were just refusing. And I remember because it was so new to me, I was literally in tears. I was upset. all these experiences, it can happen to you. And yeah, I'm just trying to be really honest with you guys. I really want you to safeguard yourselves. So I'm hoping that these 5 steps have been really, really helpful for you, and I'm hoping that it can allow you to stay positive, and it can allow you to deal with difficult clients in a completely different way. Always safeguard yourselves, and always remember that you don't always have to continue a relationship with a client, especially if it is damaging to you, damaging to your sanity, but also damaging to your brand. You know, you want to stay positive. Make sure you are surrounded by positivity. Make sure that you're working with clients that you really believe in. This is why it's a big core value for me, you know, to be passionate and supportive in what my clients are doing. Yeah, because it helps me to stay positive at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that this was helpful. Do let me know if you have any further questions on this, or if you would like me to cover any other topics. Make sure you comment below. So if you did like this video and you found it very helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. But then also, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If this is a video that you've just come across, make sure you subscribe, because there's definitely going to be more content coming out soon. Also, share my videos, guys. Again, I want my content to be shared so I can help some more people. So thank you so much again for watching, and make sure that you stay positive no matter what happens to you guys. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.